Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit. Today we're shifting gears to discuss the deceleration of the electric vehicle, EV, revolution. It seems the charge is dwindling, with a declining number of Americans envisioning an EV in their future. We could rev up a debate about consumer resistance, but the real roadblock is the hefty price tag that comes with EVs. The era of early adopters has run its course, and it appears there's a shortage of buyers willing to shell out for high-priced EVs. This suggests that Ford and GM's EV strategies have bypassed the average buyer. Let's delve into some clear indicators. Indicator number 6, GM's EVs, a touch too opulent. General Motors, once a champion of the average American buyer, seems to have taken a detour. The future of their EV lineup doesn't appear mainstream at all. It began promisingly with the Bolt, one of the first mass-produced electric cars, which enjoyed respectable success. However, the road veered off course with subsequent models. GM's EVs suddenly became exorbitantly priced, with models like the all-electric GMC Hummer, Cadillac Lyriq, and electric variants of the Silverado and GMC Sierra. Unlike their popular combustion engine predecessors, these all-electric versions are significantly pricier. Notably, GM launched their most expensive variants first, suggesting a focus on early adopters rather than average buyers. GM's electric vehicles remain a distant dream for most Americans. Take the all-electric Blazer, for instance. On the market for a few months now, it's far pricier than its gas-powered equivalent. While the combustion engine Blazer starts at around $35,000, the cheapest all-electric Blazer costs nearly $57,000. Despite its mainstream aspirations, it's hard to envision such a pricey Blazer becoming a high-volume seller. Indicator number 5, Ford's EVs not light on the wallet. While Ford, the Blue Oval Company, hasn't been as ambitious as GM in electrification, it has introduced a few EVs. Rather than creating a new, dedicated EV platform, Ford opted for a more modest approach, modifying ICE platforms for models like the Mustang Mach-E. Despite this, the all-electric Mustang, with its modest single-motor setup, is still significantly pricier than its gas-powered counterpart, even after tax credits. This has resulted in slow sales, leading us to conclude that the Mustang Mach-E isn't a particularly rational choice for the average buyer, but may appeal to EV enthusiasts and wealthier households. The story is similar with the F-150 Lightning, the all-electric version of the world's best-selling pickup. It's notably more expensive than the ICE version and lacks the towing and hauling capabilities of its combustion engine counterpart. Furthermore, its range isn't particularly impressive, and recent studies show that heavy use, such as towing, hauling, or off-roading, drastically reduces its autonomy. Indicator number 4, lower-income households bearing the brunt. The EV market is decelerating as the era of early adopters concludes. Wealthy households have secured their high-end EVs, but GM and Ford's current lineups leave little room for average consumers to consider an EV purchase. Low-income households, particularly those earning less than $30,000, find the prospect of owning an EV daunting, primarily due to high upfront costs. These models are significantly pricier than their gas-powered counterparts, making it nearly impossible for such households to lease an EV. But cost is just one hurdle. The average U.S. consumer faces several challenges in owning an EV, from range anxiety to inadequate EV infrastructure. The scarcity of public chargers is a notable issue across urban and rural areas. While EVs can be cheaper to run than gas-powered cars on paper, this only holds true if you charge them at home. For many Americans living in apartments without a garage, the only option is public chargers, which can be quite expensive. Unlike Tesla, Ford and GM don't offer free charging for their customers. GM does provide up to $7,500 in additional incentives for certain electric vehicles, but this isn't a long-term solution, given the company's limited resources for further EV investments. Indicator number 3, Ford and GM pushing their buyers to alter their lifestyles. The range of new EVs is broader than ever, but the EV adoption growth curve is experiencing a significant slowdown. That's because, aside from expensive new models, companies like GM and Ford don't seem to do much to assist average consumers with this transition. Customers are forced to make significant lifestyle changes, and car makers don't offer anything in return. We've already discussed range and charging anxiety, which are the main concerns of potential new EV owners. We also touched on the charging price, which is pretty much on par with gas-powered cars when using public chargers. But it's not just about the cost, it's about the convenience. Simply put, EVs are still a long way from being as convenient as gas-powered cars. Stops for recharging are more frequent, while the charging process is significantly more time-consuming. Driving an EV on a daily basis is pretty much a logistical nightmare for an average consumer, and if we add to that things like upfront cost, there is really no rational reason for the transition at this point. Indicator number 2. GM and Ford's EVs, a question of reliability. When you look at how car makers market their EVs, they're all about impressive acceleration, high-end tech features, and sustainability. But the average buyer is more concerned with practical matters like low running costs, and most importantly, reliability. This is where EVs stumble, as recent surveys show that EVs cause 80% more problems than gas-powered cars. Moreover, GM and Ford seem to be leading the pack in this regard. Take GM's EV models as an example. Practically every model has faced significant software issues, whether it's the infotainment system, battery integration, or advanced driver assistance systems like Super Cruise. Chevy even had to halt sales of the Blazer EV due to the multitude of issues. Ford's models, while not as dramatic, have also shown a high level of unreliability, with numerous reports about battery drains, charging, and infotainment system issues. Indicator number 1. Consumers question the environmental friendliness of electric cars. Biden's administration is fervently pushing the green agenda, with automotive electrification at its core. However, it appears that major car makers like Ford and Chevrolet may not be fully committed to this plan. Biden's ambitious goal is for 2/3 of new cars purchased to be all-electric by 2032. But currently, electric cars only make up 5.8% of the market, and electric trucks a mere 2%. A key issue is how GM and Ford are handling this transition. Behind the green agenda, there seems to be a drive for greater profits. EVs are on average $12,000 more expensive than their gas-powered counterparts, making federal tax incentives insufficient to entice new buyers. Meanwhile, the price of internal combustion cars is rising, with the extra profit funneled into new EV investments. Despite being marketed as zero-emission vehicles, the reality is more complex. The mining of lithium, a key battery component, has led to ecological disasters worldwide. Americans are becoming increasingly aware of these issues, as well as concerns about battery storage and potential fire risks. This has led many to question just how green EVs really are. Thanks for tuning in to Piston Pundit. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay in the loop with the latest vehicle updates and upcoming videos. See you next time.